When we look at the nutritional information panel, we tend to be distracted by the 0 calories label. But did you notice this? The number of calories is per serving size.
So here's the thing. All foods, including condiments and even drinks, contain some or all of these 3 macronutrients to some degree. Fat, protein, or carbohydrates. And all of these contain energy, or simply put, calories. So how is it possible that 0-calorie products even exist?
Well, Hakim, let's find out. I'm gathering some of these popular 0-calorie products: konjac jelly, honey, sriracha, olive oil spray, and carbonated drinks. I want to know if they indeed contain no calories.
So what do the test results show us?
Based on per serving, the carbonated drinks has calories of 2. The cooking oil spray has calories of 2 also. For the isotonic drink, it has 3 calories. For the jelly, it has 6 calories. The chili sauce is 4 calories. And lastly, for this honey, it has 0 calories.
So most of these still have calories. Why is there this discrepancy?
Actually, based on Health Promotion Board, less than 5 calories per serving actually can be considered calorie-free.
But the konjac jelly has 6 calories per serving. That's more than 5 calories, so why is that still labeled as 0?
It could be due to rounding off and net variations. So how the product is being marketed will need to be verified with the Health Promotion Board. We tested there's no protein and fat, so it could be due to the carbohydrate values that contributed to the calories.
So a teaspoon of this sriracha is 4 calories. But the entire bottle actually contains 632 calories. 1 sachet of konjac jelly is 6 calories. But if you eat, say, 10 of these tiny jellies at one go, it can go up to 60 calories. A spray of this olive oil is 2 calories. But you never just use 1 spray at a time, right? The whole bottle? A whopping 1,074 calories. I think it's time our 0-calorie lovers get hit with some hard truths.
So it's really the owners of the manufacturers or the importers who bring in the products to make sure that whatever they are labeling the products with is correct and is accurate.
So how do we read the labels or make sense of it just to be more mindful?
As consumers, they should not be just looking at the NIP or the Nutrition Information Panel. They should be looking at other information provided on the label as well. So let's look at this oil spray, for example. So of course, you see the big 0 there. But you should always double confirm by looking at what goes into the product. What is the ingredient listing? So if you look at the ingredients here, they will always start in a descending order. The ingredient that's in the highest amount would come out first.
Oh!
So that's a good trick to use. So in this case, it says refined olive oil followed by virgin olive oil. So it's basically just oil. In that case, it makes sense probably, given the serving size, it gives you 2 calories. And again, in this case, your serving size is 1/3 of a second of a spray.
How do you calculate that?
Being realistic about it, people are just going to pick up, say, this is 0 calories, let me just use this, in
then
abundance.
you're just effectively drinking oil.
You are, but again, on hindsight, if you look at it, it is still a better alternative than your typical oils out there. But you have to be mindful of this thing where you say, oh, since it's 0 calories, I'm going to just go ahead and use how much I want without looking at, the portion.
The one thing in common amongst most of the products we tested was artificial sweeteners. It was in the konjac jellies and the carbonated drinks.
So how is it that these artificial sweeteners contain no calories? They are still ingredients being put into these products. How can they have 0 calories?
Yeah, that's the way they have been chemically structured. If you look at the sweeteners, the size of the molecule is very similar to your sugar molecule. So when you actually consume them, they are accepted by your sugar receptors in your mouth. So you actually taste the sweetness, but they are called intensive sweeteners for a reason. They give you 100 or 200 times more sugar intensity. So you don't have to use a lot, you use very, very little as compared to table sugar. So again, because you're using such little amounts and the fact that your body doesn't metabolize it, you taste it, but you don't absorb it, you don't get energy out of it, right? So that is why they're caloric.
Zero-calorie products are extremely low in calories, less than 5 to be exact. So could I really achieve a negative caloric state just by the act of digesting such foods?
Certain food, when they take, is able to give them a more burn of their body energy and expenditure of the calories than the content of the food itself. The good example of these negative calorie food which are gaining popularity is like a celery and lettuce and tomato and watermelon. So is it really true that eating this food will give us the negative balance and we are going to lose the weight? So the concept is very simplified and there is a lot of misconception around there. We need to understand that the expenditure of that food when we are digesting is attributing to something which we call thermic effect of the food. But the thermic effect of the food represents only very little energy expenditure compared to the other requirements of our energy that body needs for the daily activities.
So in that case, negative calorie foods are a myth.
In the whole concept of our weight management, yes. If we are implementing this sort of foods as a part of our diet, the contribution of the thermic effect of the meals is so negligible that we won't be able to expect any weight changes.
So while substituting your meals with zero-calorie products might help reduce your calorie intake, alone it will not push your body into an overall negative calorie state. And that might not be a good idea too, since some of them replace sugar with artificial sweetener.
Recently, there were a few publications. They show some side effects of the artificial sweeteners. Again, some people feel digestive side effects like a bloating and the flatulence and the loose stools because they are not absorbed by our digestive system. And there are recent publications which show that some of the artificial sweeteners may actually create the increase of the blood clotting and increase the risk for cardiovascular disease.
What about like stevia or monk fruit?
That's right. That's what I wanted to say as well. So people are considering stevia and monk fruit as a natural sweeteners. Well, they are from the natural source because the stevia and monk fruit are the plants. But if they give you the zero calorie, the value of the nutrient is also zero. And it comes from the category of artificial sweeteners with the possibility of side effects to the digestive system.
So here's the only zero-calorie item I can consume that costs nothing. Some of the zero-calorie labeled products are more than twice the price of their substitutes. To spend the money and buy the products, I still have to be mindful of how much I use, because those serving sizes may be 5 calories or less. Not many of us are likely to carefully measure all our condiments out and stick with it. So in the end, I'm not really consuming 0 calories, but paying more to feel that I am.